Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Courtney Custer, she, her. I'm wearing a navy dress today, dressed for summers. We'll be outside later today. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you in your brokenness and in your wholeness, no matter who you are, who you have been, or who you are becoming. We greet you today with love. A special welcome if you're new to the church. Today's service is part of a special series of summer services. Members of our congregation design and lead these services, so you will see a variety of people and topics during the summer services. Our customary services will begin again on August 10th with our new full-time minister, the Reverend Dr. Kent Stoss. We are happy to keep you informed about First Unitarian Church. If you're here in person, you can find a card at the back of the sanctuary where you can share your contact information, get added to our email newsletter. If you're online, you can find a similar form under the newcomers link on the website. We're happy to have all of our friends, new and old, who are watching us on YouTube this morning. Please introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. I have a couple of important announcements to share with you. After the service today, we are dedicating the children's new playground at 12:15, right over there. There will be games, lunch, and snacks. Also, First Unitarian Church will be rolling with pride in the 39th Street Pride Parade tonight. Decorations and setup start at 3:30. If you want to march in the parade with us, but are not doing the decorating, arrive by 5:30 to walk or ride with us. The parade starts at 6. Our float will be spot number 16. Sport your rainbow colors and your loving nature. And now, the prelude prepares us for worship. we will light the chalice next. I would like to invite Ellie Ravencroft forward to light our chalice. In lighting our chalice, we connect ourselves with many different people, the Unitarian Universalists across space and time who have lit or are lighting their chalice, our spiritual ancestors with their dreams, good deeds, and even their failings. We light our chalice in Midtown, Oklahoma City on land that was home to the first Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee, the Seminole, and other removed and relocated peoples. We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and justice, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Todd Hildebrandt. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm 5'10", have slightly graying hair on my bald head and in my beard. I have a dad bod, which is really my code for being slightly overweight. And one of the things you can't see about me today is in 2013, I had brain surgery. And so that means sometimes I don't handle stress as well as I'd like, which manifests itself in me being maybe a little more emotional than I would like, or getting tripped up on some words. So with that introduction out of the way, I'd like to start. I'm happy and honestly a little bit nervous to be standing before you this morning. So we gather this morning a collection of unique individuals, each with their own voice and life experiences. Imagine, if you will, the beginning of a symphony. As different instruments prepare to sound, some notes are familiar, while others perhaps new and unexpected. This hour together today will be an invitation to listen deeply to the music we create together, to make space for every note and every unique contribution, and to feel the profound power that unfolds when a community consciously and chooses to weave every voice into a richer, more vibrant symphony. Let us therefore enter into this time of worship with open hearts and attentive spirits, ready to celebrate the symphony of our shared being and be transformed by the beauty of our diverse chorus. Come, let us worship together. Now, please greet one another this morning by sharing what you value most about the community here at First Unitarian Church. And when you start to hear the opening hymn, number 121, We Build a Land, please be seated, and if you wish, start singing.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Moore. I am on the Board of Trustees. Whoops, now I'll yell. Okay, I'm Carrie Moore, and I'm on the Board of Trustees. I am a height-challenged 71-year-old with more gray than blonde hair now, and today I'm wearing my rainbow shirt and white jeans. Okay, my pronouns are hers, she, and hers. Every Sunday, we take an offering, and since 2002, we have all the cash and designated checks from the offerings go directly to an external nonprofit organization doing good work, our Change for Change partnership. And I'm very happy to say that the month of June, our Change for Change partnership is Hope for the Future. Hope for the Future was founded by my friend Clotel Howard. I met Clotel back in 2014. She was at that time director of training at CASA, and so that's when I started my training. After a few years later, Clotel had a dream and a desire that caused her to leave CASA so she could fulfill this. And I'm going to introduce Clotel now, and she'll explain Hope for the Future to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Carrie. Good morning to the Unitarian family. First of all, I want to stand here and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share with you information on the services that Hope for the Future provides. Like Carrie said, I am the founder and executive director of Hope for the Future. Our whole mission is to provide a safe, welcoming, home-like environment for children who are in foster care to engage in court-ordered supervised visitation with their families. The goal, their aim is reunification. Before I get started, I want to tell you a little bit about my background and my inspiration. I worked in the legal field for over 30 years. I've got a 44-year-old daughter and a 40-year-old daughter, and they just like, Mom, you just always yep. But I'm passionate about my organization, what God has blessed me with. So when people ask me to come share, I'm thrilled to do that because I want you all to know how God has actually blessed me. Before I get started, I want you guys to put on your imagination hat. And I want you to imagine being 14 years old with two younger siblings, whether you're a young woman or a young girl or a young boy, but imagine being removed from the only home that you've ever known due to multiple forms of abuse, witnessing domestic violence, sexual abuse. And I know, you guys, I know this is not a topic that people want to hear about, but people need to know about what's really going on in the world, and somewhere in the world. Imagine being removed from your siblings, the only ones that you've ever really confided in this home. Imagine being separated from your best friend, from your best cousin, from your favorite animal. Imagine being removed from your home, abruptly moved from your home and placed into DHS custody. Imagine being that 14-year-old who basically took care of your younger siblings, not knowing where your siblings are. Imagine the hurt, imagine the anger that you would feel. And even though you have been abused, you still love your parents because that's your parents. Those are the only people you've ever known. You can open your eyes now because my inspiration came from a 14-year-old girl. She had two younger siblings. She was parentified, meaning she actually took care of her siblings while they were in this abusive home all these years, 4 and 5 years. And these children actually, all siblings actually aged out of the system. But this is a young lady that was very, very angry. She would not talk to the CASA volunteer. She would not talk to the DHS worker. She only wanted to talk to the judge. My CASA volunteer came to me and said, "Miss Howard, would you please, please try to talk to this young lady because she would not she would not leave the courtroom." I went in there and I tried to talk to the young lady. She was sitting in court and she stared at me and she said, "Stop bothering me." I gave her my name. She told me, "Stop bothering me." And we did that for several times. She jumped out of the courtroom. She went in the lobby and a lot went on for about an hour, she and I'm following her. She got angry because I kept following her. But eventually, this young lady opened up to me. After about an hour, she opened up to me. And we sat in the public defender's office. And this time, she told me her name. Previously, she wouldn't tell me her name. And as we continued to talk, I asked her, I said, "Do you have any brothers or sisters?" And she says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how many?" "2." And this is exactly how she's responding. And as we continued to talk, I said, "Well, when was the last time you saw your siblings?" "I don't know." I said, "Where was the last time you saw them?" "Upstairs in that stinky room." She's talking about the child welfare office. That's where they had to have their supervised visits, or they would have to visit at McDonald's. As we continued to talk, I asked this young lady, I said, "You're 14 years old. What are your hopes? What are your dreams for the future?" And when she told me there ain't no hope for my future in this tone, it just tore at my heart. And at that time, that was in 2003, at that time, I prayed about it. I'm like, "Lord, I've got to do something more." And in 2003, that's when actually I created Hope for the Future. And I tell people God planted that seed in me in 2003, but I didn't officially open my doors until 13 years later. So I carried my baby for 13 years, and then I gave birth. Those birth pains started coming, and that's when I resigned my position with CASA of Oklahoma and, stepped out on faith. People thought I was crazy, but it's like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. For 4.5 years, I did not receive any funding at all, you guys. It was the grace of God, 2 volunteers, and just me believing in what God had placed on my heart to do. So this was my purpose in life. So I listened to the need. The need was that children needed a place who was in foster care. They needed a place to visit. They were having to visit at the DHS office. They had to visit at McDonald's, the park, or the library. That is not a place where children need to be really interacting and engaging with their parents. Parents cannot exhibit those parenting skills that they're trying to change in an environment like that. And they also needed continuity. They needed something constant. Children and parents, they didn't need to be wondering, okay, where my business going to happen next week. They needed to know that they had stability and continuity. Children who have been traumatized, they need that stability. They need to know they can't deal with a lot of change. And so I wanted to do that. I wanted to provide that service to not only the children, but the parents, because it's a generational thing. Sometimes, and not all the time, but what was done to that parent is the exact same thing that parent may do to their children. Not that they don't love them, it's lack of education, lack of support. And I wanted to be that support system that these children need. So right now, in 2016, that was our first building. Right now, we have 9 visitation rooms. I started out with 2 at the very beginning. We have 9 visitation rooms. All the rooms are set up just like a living area. So when you go into the room, there's comfortable furniture, easy leather, wipe down furniture where, it can't get stained. Or we have a table in each room, and we do that because I want parents to be able to come to the Hope for the Future, provide home-cooked meals. That's what I say, provide a home-cooked meal. Come in, sit at the table, have a meal with your child. That we have age-appropriate toys, age-appropriate games. We have a camera in every room. So the whole purpose of that, I tell the parents, it's not to spy on you. It's actually to give you the privacy that you need with your children while the DHS workers are actually sitting in another room from afar, still assessing, evaluating, and observing how that parent is interacting with their children, but yet still giving them the privacy they need, okay? And so we do that. We have a Amazon room, and I say that as a pantry. We partner with Amazon. Amazon partners with us, and every 2.5 months, they will actually provide us with donations of food, personal hygiene, detergent, and all of those things. And the parents are able to come there in that room once a month to get whatever they're needing. Because a lot of these parents some of them are homeless, many of the parents are single, maybe 10-15% of them are married, but the majority of the parents are single parents. With that, we also have an activity room, and this activity room has a foosball machine, foosball table, an air hockey, and a little pool. Is it pool? Yeah, pool. So, pool table. And that's for the older, youth, the older siblings, 13, 14, they don't want to just sit in the room. So we actually have that room so they can actually go in there and interact with their parents. We think that sometimes we just assume parents can know how to interact and engage with their children, and really they don't. Some of them they don't. We had one family that it was a father and three children. I would sit in there and I would watch from my camera how they're interacting. Well, all of them are separated. They're not barely talking to one another. So I went in the room and I said, hey, we have a air hockey. Why don't you guys go in here and play air hockey? Dad said, well, we've never played air hockey. I said, well, try it. You may like it. You guys, that was the best visit they had ever had. They started talking to one another, interacting and engaging. So that's what I'm saying. We're trying to provide provide an environment where it strengthens that relationship. In September of last year, we were blessed, you all. We were blessed with a building. After 9 years, we were blessed with a building. We moved in our new building last September, and now we're in here, and it's just, I want you guys to come tour the facility because it's a wonderful organization, but I just want to share that with you. As far as the visits are going, it's not Hope for the Future do not supervise the visits. The child welfare worker, the CASA volunteer, or other individuals, they're actually supervising the visit. We just provide that environment, making sure everyone is safe. We've got security and all of that. The visits are held on a weekly basis. Say the Howard family is going to come every week from 9 to 11 every week until the judge has ordered for those parents to have visitations in the home. And that's the whole goal, is for the visits to be transferred in the home. The visits, like I said, last for 2 to 3 hours. So that's not enough time for parents, but at least they do have that time to try to, work with their children, have those children return to them. Tell their children return to them, spending that quality time, that stability and continuity, again, is what they're needing. Other than that, that's what we do at Hope for the Future. We've served over, for today's date, we've served over 950 families. It's about 960 now, which is about 2,200 children. And these are children, you guys, that we have established a relationship with. The parents, when parents come in there, I want to get to know all of our parents. Even though there's workers on their cases, I need to get to know all of my parents. And I let parents know, when you come here, you're not coming here being judged, because everyone in here has made mistakes in life. And it's not about that. It's not about looking in that rearview mirror. It's about looking the present, the here and now, and your future. So with that said, I just wanted to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to stand before you and share the service that we provide. You're more than welcome. We're having June the 7th, it's called Carnival of Hope. And this is an opportunity for not just the parents and the children who are in foster care, but it's everyone in the community to come out, enjoy, family time together. Hopefully the children in foster care are able to bring them, the foster parents can bring them, because the fee for the children are free, but anyone else, it's a fundraising event, so anyone else who would like to come, you can come, enjoy, go to our website. You can get all the information that you need. We're going to have a bounce house, snow cone machine, all the good fun stuff. It's not as big as a fair, but it's going to be similar to it. So anyway, thank you.
For those of you who are in the sanctuary with us today, in just a moment, we'll be passing the offering plates. And if you're watching us online, please make your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian of OKC and write change for change in the memo line, or make an online payment through our website, oneuc.org. Considering today's sermon topic, I chose for my reflection to consider the question, what does it mean to be my authentic self in community? To be my authentic self means not changing who I am based on other people. It means this is me, take it or leave it. What you see is what you get. I'm unapologetically me. I don't act differently because I'm around different people. I don't let other people dictate how I behave. I don't change myself to fit in with them, right? In her book, Dare to Lead, Brené Brown talks about leadership. Primarily, she's talking about the workplace, and she's describing more or less good and bad leadership qualities. And in this particular section that I'm going to read from, she's warning leaders not to create a culture of fitting in. So she begins by quoting from one of her previous books, which is Braving the Wilderness, and she says, in my 2017 book, Braving the Wilderness, I share this definition of true belonging. True belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your authentic self with the world and find sacredness in being part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging doesn't require you to change who you are, it requires you to be who you are. And then she goes on to say, the greatest barrier to true belonging is fitting in or changing who we are so we can be accepted. When we create a culture of fitting in and seeking approval at work, we are not only stifling individuality, we are inhibiting people's sense of true belonging. People desperately want to be a part of something, and they want to experience a profound connection with other people, but they don't want to sacrifice their authenticity, freedom, or power to do it. So it is the case that to be healthy in a community or in a workplace, you have to be your authentic self. But I think it's a little more complicated even than that. If I give up a piece of myself to take on the identity of the community, does that make me inauthentic? Am I being a fraud if I give up some part of myself in favor of the group I want to be a part of? There was a time in my life I would have said yes. In the latter part of March this year, John Alou preached here that community doesn't happen unless individuals give up a piece of their identity to take on the identity of the community. So when you're in the right community, it works. You feed and shape the community dynamic, and at the same time, the community influences your thoughts and actions. An almost symbiotic relationship develops where both the individual and the community benefit. But it must be a community that accepts you. When I was in high school, my community was the marching band. In the fall, we lived and breathed that marching band show. We rehearsed together. We memorized our sets together. We competed together. We rode the buses together. My friends and I would remark how every time we walked to class together, we were in step. The music and the counts were always in our heads. That community was me, and I was that community. I felt very much my authentic self in that group. And looking back, it would be crazy to think I didn't give up a bit of myself to gain that identity. One function of a community is to pull out of you those pieces of your authentic self that are waiting to grow. I wouldn't have been a musician without that group. I couldn't be in a marching band without a community. There is no halftime show of one person walking across the field playing their instruments. And likewise for other communities that I've been a part of, including communities of mothers and parents, government workers, management officials, knitters, Girl Scouts, and of course, this church. This church is the right community for me because here I can share my values and identity. I can be challenged on my values and identity, and I can even change. Be your authentic self, not despite the communities that you are a part of, but because of them.
Since it didn't get put in the order of service, I wanted to let you know that I'm being accompanied this morning by Warren Palmer. When you're down and troubled and you need some loving care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and they'll desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, running, running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah. Ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? You've got a friend.
Thank you, Lana, for that beautiful rendition of You've Got a Friend, and Courtney for your words today. Whoa. Let us settle into this moment, breathing in the spirit of community that gathers us here. Imagine, if you will, a symphony. At first, only familiar instruments play, creating a melody that is comfortable and familiar. Then, a new instrument starts to play. Its sound unique, perhaps unexpected. There might be a moment of uncertainty, a question of how this new sound will fit. But then, with openness, with a willingness to listen and adapt, the existing melodies shift, making space. The new sound doesn't just add to the symphony or take away from the symphony, it transforms it, revealing new depths, new harmonies, new richness. This is the power we reflect on today, the profound power of a community that not only accepts, but lovingly embraces each unique voice, each different rhythm. Now, please recall a time when you felt the strength that comes from being truly seen and accepted for who you are, especially for a part of yourself that felt distinct or different, or as some people would say, weird. Feel the release, the sense of empowerment and belonging that such acceptance fostered in you. Now, let us all consider how, as individuals in a collective community, like First Unitarian of OKC, we can be that source of power for others. How we can intentionally create spaces where every story is honored, every identity is affirmed, and every unique gift is welcomed, not as a challenge to our church's individual harmony, but as an essential part in our ever-evolving, ever-enriching communal song. Thank you. So as I was considering what I wanted to talk to you all about today, I went back to what brought my wife Emily and I here to First Unitarian Church. At the time, we were both spiritually adrift and wounded. Our previous Christian church had shunned us, a place that we once had considered a spiritual home. And that happened because after we confided in a small group of people there that our son, Gray, is trans, and that we, as his parents, supported him unconditionally in his decision to identify his gender identity as a boy openly. Now, that rejection from our previous spiritual home cut us deep and left us feeling isolated and questioning where, if anywhere, here in Oklahoma City, we could find a faith community locally that wouldn't ask us to choose between our decision to support our sons and our need for a spiritually supportive home. My wife confided her feelings of rejection in a close friend of hers who is a member here, and that member invited us to visit. And it was with an initial mix of trepidation and a flicker of hope that we entered through those doors into the sanctuary a couple of years ago. And upon attending that first service, immediately we felt a sense of relief, and that was palpable. We felt not just seen, but truly welcomed, not just tolerated, but embraced by this entire congregation. And for us, it was a revelation to realize that here in Deep Red, Oklahoma, there was a vibrant religious community living the progressive, non-judgmental, and loving views that we held in our hearts. And we realized that we no longer needed to hide who we were and have to parse our words and conceal parts of our family's truth. Our openness about Gray and our overwhelming support for him living openly and authentically as a young trans man was not met with suspicion or conditional acceptance, but with open arms and affirming smiles. What we experienced here and continue to experience wasn't just kindness, though it was profoundly kind. It was the living embodiment of our first Unitarian Universalist principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And that principle was evident not because it was a phrase in a book of, never read dogma, but it was in the eye contact of the members, the open conversations we were able to have, and the implicit understanding that our son was not a problem to be solved or a difference to be hidden, and that we, as his parents, weren't to be shunned or looked down upon for supporting our child, but we were loved for supporting him for living openly as his self. And that profound sense of being valued for who we were, individually and as a family, showed us the power of a faith that was built on deeds and not creeds. This community brought us in and showed us a language of love far more eloquent than any doctrine. And that wasn't just passive tolerance, which can look like a thinly veiled judgment. No, it was an active and loving acceptance, the very essence of that third Unitarian principle, which calls for us as Unitarians to encourage spiritual growth in one another within our congregations. And for our family, that spiritual growth, that healing and blossoming began the moment that we walked through those doors those years ago, and we were finally able to shed that crushing weight of judgment and fear. And we found a group of people here who understood that supporting a trans son was an act of love and not transgression. And so this congregation became our sanctuary, a true spiritual home where the covenant is to walk together with our truths in a shared community. Now, as many of you are aware, today, June 1st, marks the start of Pride Month every year. And obviously for our family, that's a very profoundly important month. And as you can see, I didn't describe my tie today, but this tie in my description, but this tie represents the colors of the transgender flag. And also for Universalist Unitarians, it's a sacred time, and it's a period not just of celebration, but one of profound spiritual resonance. Some of you may be aware that Pride Month commemorates the 1969 Stonewall riots, a courageous cry for dignity from the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual community. Now that cry for dignity echoes our own second principle, a commitment to justice, equity, and compassion, as well as our sixth principle's dedication to a world of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Pride celebrates the vibrant and enriching contributions of the LGBTQIA+ community, and those contributions enrich every facet of our society. Now, pride is a spiritual act affirming the beauty and resilience of the human spirit in all of its expressions. And those expressions strengthen our independent web of existence, which is the seventh principle of Universal Unitarianism, or Unitarian Universalism, sorry. A cosmic symphony that is more complete and beautiful with each unique thread and distinct voice. Pride Month also serves as a platform for advocating equal rights, which is something that is profoundly important for our congregation, which aligns with our faith's mandate to practice our values into the world. It affirms identity, testifies to resilience against odds, and gathers community and allies, fostering visibility and a sense of belonging for everyone. Now, our sacred promise, being ourselves together, the loving embrace of our spiritual community, allows everyone here to live openly and genuinely as part of a loving community. Now, my family's journey and the acceptance that we received when we came here is a testament to this. At our church, authenticity is not a solitary defiance, but collective joy, like musicians creating a harmonious orchestra. Now, in this embrace at our church, we find courage, safety, and the joy of belonging, empowering each member to share their unique sound, which enriches our collective church and serves beautiful music for the outside community. Now, here in Oklahoma City, visibility and vocal support for communities like First Unitarian are not just welcome, they are vital. Knowing that this loving religious presence exists offers an exclusion to judgment and is truly a beacon of hope. May we continue to be this brave, loving, and affirming space for all who seek it. Thank you.
extinguish our chalice. We extinguish our chalice flame, but not the light of love and community which burns in our hearts.
Okay.
Carmen has an announcement.
Carmen has an announcement. Just one second. Okay.
Anyway, today's a special day, not only because of what was said today in the church service, but we are celebrating the dedication of our new playground, which was a long time in coming. And we have a hot dog lunch for everyone to enjoy. All right, hope to see you all there. They're outside in the courtyard.
And with that, as you go forth into your week, may your hearts be open, your listening deep, and your love be the unwavering force that ensures every person here, and all those you touch in the world feel the profound, life-giving power of being cherished for who exactly they are. As a faith community, may we always strive to be a loving, transformative community, strengthened by the uniqueness of our members, and yet better together as a loving whole. Now go get yourselves some hot dogs and celebrate our new playground.
Amen.
And don't forget to go to Pride Parade later either.